but they mostly still don't care about the individual videos. With that said, sometimes the viewers care about the original video. And when that overlap happens, that's when you get people mad that you are constantly pausing the videos. So let's not say that it never happens. It's just that most of the time, the viewers are watching the person, not the video. And in most cases, without that person, they wouldn't even know that video existed. To put it differently, if I release a video that presents information about a video game, either people decide to watch it because they are interested in the information, or they wait and watch it for the reaction because they are interested in that reaction, not necessarily the raw information. In this case, I wouldn't be losing viewers because those viewers were not likely to watch my video in the first place. The cases where people are interested in the original video and they still wait for the reactions are very rare. And it only ever happens if the audience of the original video and of the reaction dip into each other. Did reactions harm my videos? No. They absolutely did not. And if they did, the quote-unquote stolen views would be in single-digit percentages. Which I am totally fine with, because people don't realize that reactions also have some benefits. Besides the fact that sponsored videos will be better. For example, I put a Manscaped sponsorship into one of my 100k videos, which got later grabbed by other creators, and together they all multiplied the views 6 times. So they gave the sponsors just a bunch of free value. But there are also other hidden benefits. And although these benefits don't immediately reflect on the channel, from the long-term perspective, they are irreplaceable. Every time someone picks up your video, it spreads awareness about you.
What the hell sparked this all back up again? I have no idea. It's just like, right now, I think in the zeitgeist of online content, I think attacking streamers is like popular for a variety of reasons. Some good, some retarded. People are saying the Let Me Know video, that guy didn't complain though, unless I missed it. It's other people getting offended on his behalf. So, it was a Twitter screenshot of XXC and Hasanabe thumbnails where they react to the Lemony video that went viral. Gotcha. This is the original tweet that started it all. All right. The very first thing, okay? People have absolutely no concept of scale, okay? If there would have been a ring uncovered where Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were serially raping 50 different children versus like this React thing, the response is about the same. There are unhinged levels of like, I can't believe in this. I can't believe it's like, bro, okay? So, number one, calm the down, okay? Holy shit. Number two, that feeds into number one, is this is such an unbelievably minor issue. Exactly. I cannot believe, well, I can, but let me rephrase that. It is so insanely stupid that people are so mad about it. Like, the way that it reads is like a massive scandal of like people are robbing each other, somebody's getting scammed out of a contract, people are getting sexually assaulted and it's covered up. It's not that. And then number two, the problem is just incredibly minor, okay? Going back to the problem itself, it seems like this is the only sane and reasonable take I think that you can have, okay? If somebody puts in a whole bunch of work for a video, and then somebody else watches that video and they get a ton of money off of just watching somebody else's work, that can feel kind of shitty, especially if the main creator isn't compensated for it. That is the start and stop of all the reasonable takes, okay? With a little bit of an addendum on the end where I can see there being a particularly nefarious type of react where somebody uploads a video and then within an hour, another large creator reacts to it and then re-uploads it on Twitter, and they're actually eating away at the impressions, right? Those two, that is the only reasonable take in all of this. How this gets blown all the way out into all of these other unimaginably fucking stupid, like, they're destroying small channels and blah, 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 is like unfathomably stupid, okay? I think that at the heart of this take, actually, I know this. This is where I have to go with my gut too, because you guys are
on top of sprightly
retarded.
being so confused.
At the heart of this, I think that people are just really mad that there are a group of people, React streamers, that make a ton of money off of a relatively small amount of work. Okay? That's like the center part of all of this anger. Now, because of that anger, it causes people to have takes that are totally, like, retardedly not mapping onto reality whatsoever. Would you talk to Dark Viber AU? Maybe if he wants to. Chances are he wouldn't want to talk to me, and the conversation probably wouldn't be productive. That guy is like on a crusade for this type of shit. But I saw the tweets before, and that guy is. Yeah. I think that people are upset that streamers are able to react to things and get like a lot of money off of it for a relatively small amount of work, which is, I think, fair.
What?
True, but it's a reasonable anger. Streamers are mostly talentless hacks. So the reality is there are a different basket of talents. Ordinarily, I would jump on you. I'm having one of those moments. Here's the moment that I'm having. I'm having a moment where America's got a lot of problems, and I hate America, and I'll shit on America, and I'll talk about all the issues we got. But when a European shows up, I bring out my goddamn revolutionary flag, and I represent this country, okay? Ordinarily, I'll shit on streamers. I shit on streamers more than anyone else you'll ever find, okay? Because streamers are talentless hacks. I do agree with that, okay? But today, I'm going to take a stronger, more realistic position. Realistically, streamers are not talentless hacks. They just have particular talents around doing live content. Not everybody can do that. Your favorite YouTuber that produces really high quality content for YouTube probably sounds like an autistic retard if you put him in front of a camera without a script. I've demonstrated this at least 50 times by having debates with people that were supposedly informed on issues that they created essays about, where as soon as they were in front of another human being that knew what they were talking about, sounded like they were in 3rd grade. Like twice held back, okay? So the idea that streamers have no talent and YouTubers have all the talent is stupid. The reality is everybody has talents that let them do different things. Now, if you want to say that streamers don't work hard, that's fine. But when a lot of the YouTubers that you guys love make one video every 2 years and they're collecting monthly Patreon checks off of it, give me a break, okay? Let's chill. This motherfucker not working 8 hours a day for 6 months to produce a 1-hour video, okay? That's more work than some people put into like actual major length documentaries, okay? Like, calm down, okay? Slow down, all right? Let's just move on past that, okay? The idea that these particular creators are talentless hacks and these particular creators are literally enshrined as the most artistic, hardworking, noble, blue-class people that have ever existed. Okay, this is just not true. Everybody has different talents. Everybody's good at different things. Here is an underpinning to all of this that is also really important, okay? People are hung up on an idea that, as far as I'm aware, has never been proven. And that idea is that somehow, like, reactors are taking away from the views of the ordinary video producers, people that originally make the videos. I don't think that has ever been proven, ever. The fact that people are out here, like, making these claims, and it just seems to be taken verbatim that, oh, like, they're stealing views. Are they? Has that ever in the history of all? Because the only thing I've seen when people made videos on this are, some people say the bump is small to non-existent. I've never seen this claim that they're stealing views from anybody else, okay? I've never seen any data to support that. Maybe that is true, but if it is, nobody's proved that yet. Number two, another thing is people are, compare this to your ad block take? Yeah, I'll get into that later. These are also obvious. It's just like so obvious. But I think you guys are just incentivized to do the behavior that you like, and then that's it. You don't care. Which is funny because people accuse me of the same thing, even though I don't think my primary bread and butter content is React content. Not just like watching videos. Sometimes we do, but like I'm pretty sure that's more in Hassan's wheelhouse than mine. But okay. Another thing that people are saying is, a lot of people have this idea that if you're reacting to a video and you just watch it for the full hour, that's bad because you're taking away views from the original. But if it's transformative, that's good. If it's transformative, that's good. That line of thinking also doesn't make any sense, because if you watch a YouTube video and you long react to it, let's say there's a 30-minute video and you spend 3 hours reacting to it, you're also probably taking views from the original, because who's going to watch the original after watching you do a 3-hour breakdown of the video? So that line of thinking doesn't make sense. Destiny seemed pretty eager to steel man the anti-React side when it was shit on Hassan time and he wasn't implicated as React Andy. First of all, I'm not even implicated as a React Andy here. Number one. Number two, I don't think I shit on the React side. If you watch the video clip that we just watched, I don't think it was me shit on the React side. I just said that there are certain circumstances where I could see people getting upset about like, if you watch a video and you upload a React to it very quickly and you start eating impressions on YouTube, I don't even know if that happens, but I could see that. I could see that upsetting people. Here's the next point. Something else to keep in mind. There's generally not, for as widespread as like React content is, like on Twitch or on stream sites or whatever. For as much as people are, I got so many chats going. Yeah, true. I shouldn't be reading chats while I'm doing this. That clip starts with you saying the only exception would be as well. So the clip is you caveating that you take your act like right now. Yeah, of course. Destiny, isn't it more like a few days? I remember August told your fan channels not to upload videos that he wants to upload within a few days. August, that no. I don't understand you guys. Okay, let me explain. The issue there wasn't people taking videos and uploading them. The issue was uploading for the first time ever on YouTube stuff that had never been on YouTube before. It's not even remotely the same thing. The problem was people would clip things out of stream and then they throw it up on YouTube before my YouTube channel even had it on. It's not even remotely the same. Come on, you're actually retarded if you can't see the difference. That, I think you can legitimately eat into stuff too. If you could find a way to upload other people's stuff before it even got uploaded to YouTube, then yeah, that would be comparable there. Here are the two biggest things that I don't understand. Is one, where is the outcry from YouTubers whose content is being reacted to saying that it needs to stop because it's costing them? Okay, number one, that is not happening. I haven't seen it happen. Maybe they're all just really scared to say something, which is a narrative that people want to run with. And number two, if it's such a big deal that it's actually eating people's views, and everybody has an excuse for that, why not just DMCA the streamers then? And people keep saying online like, oh, the everybody would go and harass them and blah, blah, blah. Bro, are you watching the online communities? Literally everybody is against the streamers here. I'm pretty sure you'd be a hero if you DMCA'd like a React streamer and took their shit down. I'm pretty sure every single person on YouTube would support you, unless the view is not as popular as it is. But like, people are saying things like, oh, you'd have to DMCA every single time it happens. No, you wouldn't. You literally DMCA once and nobody would react to your shit again. Trust me. If word got out that one dude DMCA'd somebody for reacting on their shit on stream or whatever, nobody would watch that guy shit again because I don't want to get DMCA'd. Destiny, didn't Alinity get shit on for years for striking PewDiePie? Alinity didn't strike PewDiePie because she was trying to protect her content. She was doing it to avoid criticism.
And you're just a crybaby. Can your chair do this?
Seriously? He just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy. Just for that word. Gonna copy strike him. Yo! Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like right now?
If you don't even know the situations, I don't know why the you would even bring it up. Like, yeah, I noticed a lot of people bring it. What about that one time somebody DMC'd somebody and then they got in trouble for it?
Yo! I'm gonna copy strike this.
He was doing it to avoid criticism.
And you're just a crybaby. Can your chair do this?
Seriously? He just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy. Just for that word. Gonna copy strike him. Yo! Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like right now?
If you don't even know the situations, I don't know why the you would even bring it up. Like, yeah, I noticed a lot of people bring it. What about that one time somebody DMC'd somebody and then they got in trouble for it? Usually that wasn't for actually copyright protection. Usually when people get mad at it, it's because people are trying to hide criticism. You guys comparing that is just an unbelievably stupid thing. How easy is it for smaller creators to DMCA? I don't even think you have to be a creator to DMCA. Or I think it helps if you can link to the original content. It's literally f***ing the algorithm Destiny. I don't know why you're defending 60 minutes of no-talk videos over. What are you talking about, f***ing the algorithm? What's that guy's name? Lemino JFK? His video is the first one that comes up. Is this the algorithm getting f***ed? You searched for Lemino. JFK assassination. I don't know what I would have to search for to bring it up. Oh, here's this video. Is this the algorithm getting f***ed? Wouldn't it affect recommendations rather than searches? I don't know, would it? Nobody's ever proven this before. Nobody's ever investigated this before, right? Like, there's literally just people run with this assumption. I don't even think it's true. But also, if it is, just DMCA them. If you don't want a streamer wrecking your shit, or you don't even have to DMCA, you can literally say on Twitter, hey, don't watch my stuff anymore. I'm pretty sure somebody did this before with Hassan or somebody, where didn't somebody tweet out, like, I don't want streamers watching my videos? People just don't do it, because streamers probably don't want to get in trouble for it. Like, it's so easy. Okay, here's another thing. Oh, God. There's just so many, like, half-baked takes. JCS might have done that. Maybe. I don't remember. Somebody said, I think people equate it to getting paid in exposure and turn their brains off there. Okay. Going back to all the way to the getting paid in exposure, there is nothing wrong with getting paid in exposure. Sometimes exposure is the best form of payment. The reason why getting paid in exposure is a joke phrase is because usually the people that say you'll get paid in exposure have no exposure to give you. Getting paid in exposure is a joke when a friend asks you, do you want to come play for my wedding? And you're like, oh yeah, sure. Like, this is what we build. It's like, well, but like, think of the exposure. Like, maybe other people at my wedding will have you play, right? So you should come do it. That's why getting paid in exposure is a joke. Even wealthy people, if somebody were to offer me, if Kanye West were to say, I want to do a podcast with you for 10 episodes, but I'm not going to pay you at all, but the exposure would be really good, I would do it. Of course I would do it. The exposure is hella worth. You can absolutely get paid in clout or exposure. It just depends on if you're actually going to get it or not. So the whole saying of like getting paid in exposure, the whole reason why that's a joke is because usually people saying it don't have any exposure to give you. That's where the joke of that phrase comes from. I see some people saying they don't like it because the content is lazy. I mean, technically, almost everything streamers do is lazy. Like, is it more lazy to watch a video than to just, like, put a game on and don't say anything? Like, streaming League for 10 hours, is that less lazy? I think that argument is dumb. I think it's interesting that people get upset about React streamers. People get mad at the whataboutism. Nobody seems to care that TikTok is built almost entirely off of like ripping shit from other people and getting tens of millions of views on it sometimes, or like all the meme compilations that go up on YouTube, which also usually don't credit any of the streamers, but is interesting. I also think sometimes people's demands for reactions, I'll see this when people watch my stuff. People will say something like, Destiny, when you watched that Ben Shapiro video, when you watched that thing, your reaction was really great there. But when you watched like the Internet Historian Cave Guy or the JFK documentary, that reaction was really bad. These statements don't make sense. Some streamers, I'll speak for myself, I guess, because I don't, probably true for everybody. Some streamers watch things specifically because it's in their area of expertise or it's in their wheelhouse to react to. If you watch me, watch a 30-minute video of like Ben Shapiro or whatever, I'm probably gonna have a lot to say on what he's gonna say, right? If I'm watching like the Internet Historian Cave Guy thing, what the fuck am I gonna react to? What do you mean to pause and say? Like, wow, guys, that cave sure is deep. I remember when I was a kid, I was scared of deep caves. Let's go. Like, some videos are going to be things that you're just watching. Some of the things, you got a lot of shit for that ContraPoints video reaction. Yeah, because August was retarded and uploaded it to my YouTube channel. I don't know why he did that, but everybody assumes that I think that that was like a good video to upload to YouTube, which I absolutely do not. I don't know why he uploaded that. Obviously, there are going to be some things that people react to that, yeah, like I don't understand these reactions. Or I think it's just, it must just be because there's like a jerk waving a streamer sometimes. Destiny, just admit you're a lazy who puts on videos because you don't want to lose viewers while you game or respond to emails. Lazy. Like, what are you so mad about? Like, the harm here is almost entirely fabricated. Nobody can see it. And people are so mad. They're like as mad as they were about the old, like, machinima contracts. Like, holy shit. Jesus. Anti-React content has been a YouTube thing for years. Oh, I guess. Or just maybe it's, like, bled over into the streamer world. In your mind, is there a difference between a reaction on stream versus on YouTube? It depends on the type of ass mad you are about the particular thing. It depends sometimes. Yeah, it depends on what your argument is. If your argument is just one purely of copyright infringement, then the platform is really not relevant. If the argument is one of like depriving the person of views, that hasn't been proven on any platform ever. So I don't even know why that argument is made. But if there was any legitimacy to that argument, then same platform reacts are probably going to be more damaging than alternate platform reacts. That'd be my guess. Would it be better or more agreeable to you if the criticism was re-uploading the full stream reaction and the ought statement was to cut the stream clip down and link to the original to finish the video? Yeah, there are better ways that if you theoretically, if you wanted to give credit to the creators, I think that there are probably 2 or 3 ways to do this. One would be to have like an auto claim system. So somebody can get like 10, 20% of a streamer's revenue for a day if they like do a claim. Like you can do partial claims on YouTube, but I think your channel has to be for a certain size to do that. Number 1. Number 2 could be at the very least requirement for people to Number 2 could be a requirement for people to link back to the original. That'd probably help as well. I think number 3, I think it would actually be okay if there was a, I think it would be okay if there was an embargo on reacting. So for instance, you shouldn't react as a streamer to a YouTube video that's been up until it's been up for at least like 1 or 2 weeks. I think that there is, I think there are legitimate, I think those could be like legitimate points, but nobody even cares about that. People are just like completely ass mad about. I don't even know why. So you're saying you'd be okay with somebody watching your Change My Mind videos without any input on their stream for an hour? Interesting. I mean, you can't ask me because I'm not retarded, and I would say yes to all of that. Yeah, of course. If a larger content creator than me put up my Change My Mind and show, like, here's the reality for making content. And if you ever wonder why I do so many weird podcasts, or part of what my big growth has been recently, Zatsui, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. One of the most important things that you can do as a content creator, one of the hardest things you can do, and I don't give a if you believe me or not, but the most important thing you do is usually getting your content in front of a new audience. It is incredibly difficult, and it is incredibly valuable. I'd rather go in front of somebody with 1,000. If there was somebody that was totally outside of my wheelhouse and they had like 1,000 concurrent viewers, I'd rather talk to them for an hour than XQC for an hour. It would do me more value because that's 1,000 people that have never been exposed to me or heard of me before, which is how many new fans I can pick up versus XQC's audience has already heard of me. Almost all of them probably have, right? Most people are only mad because they hate seeing people they perceive as being talentless getting paid to react to videos and adding no value to them. True. Like I said before, that is, yeah, I can understand that. But I wish people would just say that instead of like virtue signaling all this other shit. Like people are saying like, all the React content should go away forever. Okay, but that doesn't help any of the other people being reacted to. You're not helping them at all. You're just like trying to attack, I guess, like the streamers and then their communities for what though? You don't even gain anything from that. Like what's even the point? Yeah. I'm sorry, but this is a cringe, self-interested take that perfectly fits your situation. Stop pretending this is different than having ad block. Okay, again, we can go and we can pull a million streamers, a million content creators, a million things if you want. And I understand, I'll do this. I'm always going to eat an L on this because you guys have grown accustomed to navigating the internet this way. Ad block has been and always will be more destructive than React content, which you haven't even proven hurts a single channel. Nobody's even proven that React content is harmful. Ad block is destructive. It is. And the idea that people are like, how can you be anti-ad block but pro-React content? Because ad block actually deprives creators of revenue. If you've got 1 million views on the video and 70 to 80% of those are ad block, you've lost like 5 times your money. You can't prove lost revenue in any as easily as you like. Ad block is the easiest revenue loss proving you can ever do in your entire life. Whatever it knocks you out. I'm not gonna sit here and scream at you about it because unlike you guys, I can moderate my fucking opinion on things, right? I think ad block is probably bad for creator environments, but I'm not gonna sit here and fight against ad block because I know this is too effective. And because at the end of the day, it's probably not that big of a deal. It's not for me, and it's probably not for a lot of larger creators because I can actually have a moderate reaction to things. But like, if you ad block and you're mad about the React shit, you probably have no valuable opinion on literally any of this. Yeah. Destiny, people don't understand that every podcast you're doing on your recent tour has literally been paid in exposure because you don't ask for a fee. That is true. I don't charge people appearance fees just for exactly that reason, yeah. Can you at least agree that uploading full lazy React videos to YouTube itself is harmful? I don't know if it is harmful. I don't know if there's any harm there at all. Nobody's ever proven it before, ever. I don't think it is harmful. It probably isn't. Is it like morally dubious? Yeah, it might be, sure.
Many of you may know Destiny.
Also, defends his bag. My bread and butter, I don't even think is React content. Like, not compared to some of these other streamers. Like, holy shit. But it's funny now that, like, because I could have technically just said nothing and, like, because I'm pretty sure people are nuking, like, Hassan and XQC and shit over this. Because most of the time, oh, actually, no, that is true. Because most of the time, if I step away from my computer, usually I just throw my Be Right Back screen. And you guys will just watch that for 10 or 15 minutes. As opposed to, I guess apparently other streamers will put on videos and go away from their computer for 20, 30 minutes, I guess. But now, apparently now I'm going to be grouped in with all the React streamers, which is fine. I don't give a f. Defend it. I don't care. Wait, sincere question, I promise. If it hasn't been proven that React content uploaded to YouTube is harmful, why do you think it's bad that August uploaded the ContraPoints one? For two reasons. One, if for no other reason, for optics, because you retards will lose your mind over it and think that I like commanded August to throw that video up completely verbatim. And then number two, I just don't think it's a very valuable addition to my channel. If somebody wants to go watch ContraPoints, then go watch ContraPoints. I don't know why I would just re-upload that and stick on my channel. It's not like if you're coming to my channel to watch something from me or my contribution, why just have another person's video? Those are the two reasons why I don't think it. Yeah, but I don't feel bad like, oh no, I probably siphoned a whole bunch of views away from ContraPoints. I don't think that happens.
Very old content creator. I don't mean in terms, well, I guess in terms of his physical age, but also like how long he's been making content. He's 2 years older than me. Basically a fossil. That man should retire. Imagine a 34-year-old still making content on the internet, not giving space for us young 32-year-olds. Let's be honest. Destiny has, in large part, maintained his relevance by throwing out shit on Twitter to get responses and then bring people onto his stream to talk to them. I guess it's not unlike what Sneaker is doing, but maybe less extreme.
Like, this is what I mean. Like, is it impossible to just give a take? Like, so anyway, there's Destiny. I heard that he like 20 children. I think he murdered a whole bunch of it was a whole bunch of people in Compton, but it was really strange because when we went to the store, he only killed the black ones, which I thought was really weird, and some of the white women. But anyway, so that's Destiny. We're going to talk about his opinion now. Like, what? Okay. Like,
it's hard to say. What I'm trying to say is, it is sometimes hard to know how sincere he is on Twitter, because he says things that he clearly doesn't believe.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's go bring up every single tweet, too, because everybody's like, Destiny's going to back away from all these tweets, blah, 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 blah. Let's read them. Tweet 1. Is it already time again for the virtue signaling around evil React content? The reality is, likely causes little to no harm to any of the actual creators on YouTube. If it did, why aren't there legions of creators DMCAing streamers for watching their stuff? Why aren't there tons of YouTubers begging streamers not to watch/react to their stuff? I've never seen so many people crying and pretending to care about such a trivially easy problem to fix. That is true. Where are all of the people, where are all the YouTubers that are like, oh no, like, please, like, stop watching my videos. It's so, like, this doesn't happen. Like, given all the reactions that streamers do, you'd think there'd be a lot more people complaining about it, but it's not. It's just like the community of people that complain about everything on YouTube. Number one. And then number two, again, it would only take like 1 or 2 DMCAs and then you'd be done. Like, boom, nobody would react to your shit anymore. Like, could you imagine if 1 or 2 YouTubers, DMCA streamers reacting to their shit? Boom, nobody would do it anymore. Like, done. That's it. Or also, by the way, you wouldn't even have to DMCA a streamer, because I've heard a lot of people like, oh no, they're too scared. If you don't want to DMCA a streamer, email the streamer or send them a DM and be like, hey, can you please like not watch my shit? Or if you want to watch something, watch 5 minutes and link to my video. You could do that, and then boom, that's like a win-win. Like, this is such an easy problem. If it was a problem, if it even was a huge problem, which I don't even think it is, but if it was a huge problem, it's so easy to fix. Like, when music DMCA started happening, not a single streamer was playing music for like weeks. Yeah. So somebody responded to my tweet and they said an extra 50K views on a video would help. And then my response was, the reality is most of the people on stream were never going to watch that video anyway. There is maybe an argument for brand new videos being released and having those views cannibalized by streamers, but then I just ask, why not just DMCA 1 or 2 channels reacting? Streamers would probably never watch your content again. Next tweet. I think this guy deleted his tweet, but I think it's just something like, oh, like, communities are gonna be haters or whatever. And I said, this doesn't make much sense. If the whole YouTube community hates reactions as much as some, like Dark Viber AU, are claiming, wouldn't they be seen as heroes for DMCAing evil React streamers? Yeah. CGP Gray getting shit on in the comments for DMCAing a YouTuber. I'd have to go and look up. I don't know the specifics of that one, so I'd have to go and look it up to know if I should ban you for your retarded comment or if it's a good comment or not, but... Somebody said, even if we accept that, they definitely won't after. There's potentially hundreds of views. I think asking creators with a fraction of resource and powers to DMCA all these videos is unreasonable for... You know, you just have to DMCA like 1 or 2. It takes 90 seconds. I said, LOL, filing a DMCA takes like 90 seconds on almost any platform, and you'd only have to do it once or twice for people to never react to your stuff again. Someone says you'll lose reputation for that. And then I said, then have your shit stolen. Who cares? It's such a loser mentality. There specifically exists a tool here to address exactly this problem. And 90% of the internet would support you doing it, but you don't do it because question mark, randoms on Twitter, question mark. This makes literally no sense. Somebody said, do you really think Peanut Brain XQC / Hassan fans give a fuck about legitimate DMCA claims? And I reply, this doesn't make sense. So you think people would be in an uproar if you filed a DMCA claim, but they won't be in an uproar if you tell people they're not allowed to watch their stuff ever again. This is grasping at straws. And then I don't think I have any more. People don't like it because it's probably shown on streamers at the moment. That's literally it. It's the 2023 So Brave opinion. Streamers bad. What are you talking about? 99% of the people mad aren't even content creators themselves. It's others getting mad on behalf of them. And then I tweeted a good meme picture. Wow. Okay. All right. Those are all my tweets.
Intentionally inflammatory stuff. So regardless, I'm going to talk about some tweets related to my commentary, fully admitting that he may be entirely insincere. I don't consider Destiny to be like an honest actor. It's already time again.
God, what a fucking tank top wearing meth head loser. Like, why not just... I like how he's got to poison the well for a whole fucking minute before he can vomit out like what I was talking about. Jesus Christ.
For the virtue signaling around evil React content. Any person who starts by calling all opposing positions just virtue signaling, obviously not really arguing in good faith, right? This is just shit flinging. Virtue signaling to who would be the question. The reality is...
Virtue signaling when you're getting mad on behalf of other YouTubers and your shit isn't even being reacted to. It's not even your shit. It's not even your content and you're getting this mad. If that's not a virtue signal, what the is? You don't even know if there's any harm being done. You haven't even demonstrated harm. No harm demonstrated, and it's not your content, and it's not even streamers you're watching. And you're so invested in it? Okay.
It likely causes little to no harm to any of the actual creators on YouTube. If it did, why aren't there legions of creators DMCing streamers for watching their stuff? Dozens of answers to this. The first is that ultimately what is being lost is gains that the person would otherwise have received if not for interference. Therefore, they can be entirely unaware that those gains would have come to them if not for that interference.
You have no way... This has never been demonstrated, ever. I don't even know if, like, the YouTube recommended feed works that way. That, like... Because I didn't watch, like, if only Destiny wouldn't have watched it on his stream, I would have gone on my own time and watched this video that I didn't even know about otherwise?
We could phrase Destiny's question like this. Me and Destiny go to Jack's house. We see in his mailbox that he has a birthday card from his grandmother. And so Destiny looks and goes, hey, his grandmother might be sending him money. Destiny grabs Jack's, card from his grandmother, opens it, goes, hey, $50, puts it in his pocket, and then, I guess, I don't know, just crumples up the note and chucks it in the sewer. And I'm like, I think Jack would really care that you just took $50 from him. And Destiny was like, well, let's see. And we both go in his house, and Jack doesn't mention it. And so Destiny's like, see? He didn't give two shits that I took $50 from him. Didn't care at all. And my response in that situation is the same in this situation.
This assumes that $50 was always going to go to Jack, though. You have no idea. You have no way of knowing that. And outside of exceptionally rare circumstances, I'd probably bet my life. Outside of exceptionally rare circumstances, I'd probably bet my life that that doesn't happen. Like I said, the only case where I can see this being like an actual problem is if somebody responds to or reacts to a video and he and you re-upload this, like especially like same day or whatever, and then you start cannibalizing views that way, I could see that probably being a problem, right? Which is why I'm saying, like, if there's like an embargo on reacting to like a YouTube video for like 1 or 2 weeks, I think that would make sense. I think most streamers would probably like agree to that. Like if you were to tell like Hassan or XQC or have a rule or whatever, and you're like, hey, listen guys, if you're gonna watch a YouTube video on stream, make sure it's been up for at least a week or two. I think that's completely fair, 100%.
They don't know. And if I...
Yeah, true. Jack might have been using that money on drugs anyway. True.
Explain to Jack that he just lost $50, he would care. As when I explain to other creators of the market manipulation that reaction content does in pulling audiences away from them to reactors as that's its only purpose. They do care, right? Even in cases of just looking at individual videos that reactors may have impacted, which is not my interest, people don't go back and look at the analytics of videos that are potentially like a year old to see how those videos did before and after reaction. Mad Season, a person who doesn't seem to hate reaction content, recently made a video where he did that and went back and went, oh, after that reaction, my video did way worse than it was doing before that. Like I could see...
Wait, hold on. Do we have actual, what is this graph? wait. What are we looking at? This is why I wouldn't watch any long form content by this guy. You should have. I don't want to say you should have to have a fucking math degree, but like you just have. What is this? It looks like if we ignore the weird grouping here of this, the red and the blue part, it looks like he posted a video and then it had its huge first, what is this, couple weeks? And then the videos kind of trailed off. And then it looks like something happened for it got popular. Was this Asmongold watching it? And then after that, the views kind of went back and then they trailed off again. The averages that he draws here, though, to prove that, like, I was getting 21 views a day. Is this a couple months after reacting? Or I'm sorry, this is a couple months after posting? I think that says December. Wait, this is December, January, February, March. Okay, so 3 to 4 months afterwards, he was getting 2,100 views a day. And then he's averaging that with the viewership he was getting a year after? Also, if Asmongold is reacting here, this reaction here looks like it literally did give a bump to the viewership. Like, I can't, it's hard to eyeball this, but it looks like if you were to integrate, if you integrated this function from where the blue starts here to like this point here, I feel like the integral of this, it would be more than like half of this entire fucking block here. Like, I feel like he might have gotten more viewership at this point here than he did for like 75% of this part here. This is like the stupidest analysis I've ever seen in my entire life. What point is he even trying to make here?
When the reaction happened, and after that, I was getting half the views each day that I was before.
What do you mean after that? No, after that, your viewership was about the same, and it was higher than it was a few months ago. You're averaging out you're averaging out like an 8-month period here, and then you're saying this is all 925 views a day. What the fuck?
views each day they were. The entire Discord.
All of this. DMCA,
On these platforms.
wrong!
You just get
Reddit and link the video to a stream after watching it, but even visually here you'll notice an immediate decline. I did actually take the time to average all of these out, and as you can just visually see here, we have a pretty significant all of these out, and as you can just visually see here, we have a pretty significant decrease in viewership, presumably due to the fact that from this date there are now 2 major copies of this video sharing the algorithm, and I think that's a pretty reasonable conclusion to make.
I'd be interested to see, like, what does the drop-off look on a normal video, but... Oh, hello, my friend.
Hey, Destiny, how you doing? Are you pissing everybody off again today? Is that what you're up to? Seems like it.
I've had a lot of good PR over the past while, so I'm ready to
Time
fight.
to take it down a bit.
I need to fight. Yeah, I need to fight some people again. I'm ready. I need to.
I was playing my video games, and people were like, you gotta talk to him. You gotta talk him off this.
Bring
He's
the
going
energy.
nuts."
Yeah. What do you want?
I don't have
Australian.
energy. Australian? What the? What are you, Canadian?
Basically, they're Canadians are basically Americans, so I'm basically Canadian. That's how that works. Yeah.
It's like America's hat. It's not really the same thing, but I'll give it to you. It's fine. How do we figure this out? You know, we'll probably start with, like, I don't know, earliest principles. I saw that you were saying if someone like fully re-uploads and sort of cannibalizes the views, that would be.
I think that if there was one thing to complain about, I don't even know this, but if there was one thing to complain about, I think that reacting to a video that's been uploaded for less than a day and then getting your reaction to that video up on YouTube, like within that day, I could see people getting irritated about that. Because at that point, I'm not really sure if that would cannibalize, but I could see people getting asked mad about that. And that's fair, I think.
So principally underlying that, like, what's going on? What's the big issue? It's they are entitled to money and views, and it's getting taken from them.
Principally, oof, that's a.
No, I'm actually intending today to figure out my position. Ultimately, I'm going to use you.
Well,
for
principally,
it.
there are like there's a couple. I think principally, you'd have to go way back into what do we think about copyright, and that's a difficult question. Let's say, for instance, that somebody could violate somebody else's copyright and make $10 million without ever negatively impacting the original copyright holder. Would that be ethical or unethical?
It was interesting because you brought it up earlier, and I'm with you on it. The game one with stories and stuff. I ask it every once in a while when we're doing EFAP episodes. A long play is ethical, and obviously everyone knee jerk is like, of course they are. I enjoy them, and it's like that. Long plays, if for anybody who doesn't know, it's the just concept of you have the full game recorded and you don't speak, you don't say anything. You have people walking around and doing choices, especially games where like that matters. You can argue that's some level of the input from the creator. But if we have a game like the stuff from, is it Supermassive Games, where they make games that are like story based entirely, they're almost films. Little Hope would probably be the best example. It's a video game that really that's a whole other conversation. It's barely a video game. But if they uploaded that in full and made money off it, is that right? Should that be done? And you know, you were talking about people not doing enough to respond to it. It's like, I wonder if the game company knew about it. They probably do know about it. They've decided that the promotion is enough to outweigh it. Kind of like whether or not you should stop shoplifting with extra security or not, because it's like spending, you know, the balances and stuff. I think that there's
to be as a quick addendum to that, some companies are aware of that, and some companies do take a stand against that. So, for instance, Atlas Games, which I believe made Persona, yes. Atlas Games, I believe, had a policy where once the game was released, they didn't want people streaming or uploading anything past like the first chapter of the game or something. And they said they would be striking people. You could upload like up to a certain part, and then they didn't want people spoiling the rest. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo just outright, like, I remember Total Biscuit almost swearing them off because of the shit that they did.
We don't talk about Nintendo because Nintendo lives in their whole other universe of stupid shit. Nintendo, like, if you've got like a little brother walking around in the background of your video, like with a Zelda or a Link hat on, like they'll send like Japanese psyops assassins to your house to like kill you. Nintendo's in a whole other world of crazy shit.
Well, that's the thing. The part that makes this a little bit more reasonable, right, is that we can both agree on either extreme. On one side, like when you've turned a 10-minute video into 10 hours with your commentary, it's like you've transformed that. That's yours. They can't claim that the money you've gotten from that should belong to them. That's a
but this is where the first principles thing is really important, because people keep bringing that up, but it's interesting. People say like transformative content is better, and it's like, well, why? Because it's transformative. Well, if your initial argument was the original video is harmed, in my personal opinion, I feel like transformative content might be more harmful than straight rips, right? Like, would I watch an original video or would I watch a boring Asmongold react to it? I'd probably just watch the original video, because why do I want like the shittier version, like maybe the chat on the side? I don't know. But for highly transformative content, there might be times where it's like, this guy uploaded a video, I don't know if I trust it or not. I'm just gonna wait until somebody that I trust reacts to it, and then I'll see like if it's good or not, right? So in that sense, I feel like transformative videos can be far more harmful. There are probably certain online content creators that will give a take on something political, and people won't watch that original video, but they'll wait for me to respond to it to know why they do or don't like it. But they have no desire to engage with the original, and they're just looking for my transformative reaction to it. So in that sense, that would be a highly transformative reaction, but it would actually be damaging to the initial video, because nobody wants to watch the initial, they just want to see the response to it, you know?
Which is why I think that this is a mess, this whole conversation with everybody involved, because everyone's darting from different positions and defending different positions, and a lot of people who are included when they shouldn't be, or vice versa. I've seen people say, like, why would you take any issues with any of this when you run a React channel? It's like, that's true, but I love reactions. Like, if there's a video that's 10 minutes long talking about, like, everything that's wrong with American politics, and then you cover it, and you, let's say, turn it into a 20, 30-minute video, but you have really great research highlighting it, and then that person says, why don't you feel for me more? I got all my shit stolen by Destiny. Everyone's watching that video instead. I'd be like, yeah, good for you. Like, good for you, meaning Destiny, that you've taken the shit video, dramatically improved it, and transformed it into a brand new piece of content. I assume that's got to be a part of deciding whether or not someone is frustrated or not with the situation.
So this is what I always criticize people for, and I think you see it happening a lot here, is sometimes it feels like people are just trying to shit on people, and they don't actually care about like helping people. It reminds me of when like progressives talk about like taxing billionaires, and it doesn't seem like they care as much about the social programs. They just want to like punish people for being billionaires. I think that if people cared, I think that there are a consistent set of guidelines that you could develop that I'm pretty sure streamers and YouTubers would be on board with. Firstly, I do think YouTubers do like reactions, because it does feel good to get your content in front of a whole new audience, even if you're not generally getting those views. Either one of two things happens. Either one, you're a really small YouTuber, in which case it's almost certainly going to help, or two, you're a larger YouTuber and you'd rather be in front of a new audience than just get like more money for a video, right? Like if I upload a video and it gets like 200,000 views, but it could have been 1 million views, but instead somebody like Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan reacts to it and they cannibalize all the views, I don't care. I'd rather have my video in front of their audience. I don't need the money on that video. I'm fine, right? I don't need the money for that video. I'd rather have the reaction in front of a different audience. But if you're really small content creators, probably helping anyway. I feel like I think there were 3 things I said earlier. Is one, if somebody put out like a list of standards, like don't react to videos within a week of them being uploaded, I think that's fair. Even 1 or 2 weeks, I think that's totally fair. A second thing would be like requirements to link back to the person's either YouTube channel, original video, or Patreon especially. Requirements to link back to the person's either YouTube channel, original video, or Patreon especially. I think that's nice to like direct people back if they want to give money or whatever, if they appreciate it. So 1, 2. And then the third one, it would be nice if there was some sort of like big Word doc for like people to look up YouTube people, and if like, hey, if you want to react to my video, that's fine, just throw me $20 or something. Like, I think those are 3 things where it lets the reactors keep making money doing their shit, the audiences are happy, and the people having their reactions are having them in like the best way possible. That would be like a positive path forward that like makes everybody happy. But right now it seems like people are just really ass mad about streamers. Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is I would almost be annoyed with the rule that I have to wait a week before I can respond to a video, especially if it's like regarding something.
Great damage even further, and for rope, go attack percent or break effect percent depending on your sub DPS playstyle. Break effect is a potential build due to the quantum break effect being so strong and her weakness implant. If she's not breaking though, break effect will be worse than attack percent. Unless you're at E0 and don't want to use her free light cone, which is not recommended, NG rope is useless. So let's do a little game of does she need an NG rope? I will be your host today and we will go through tons of rotations and see if they need an NG rope. Her first rotation is her standard rotation with her free light cone, and it gives us a permanent defense shred uptime, and it's the one a lot of people struggle with and why we had the energy rope discussion in the first place. So after ult skill and 2 basics, We arrive at 107 energy, which is 3 under what Silverwolf needs. Does an energy rope which would bring her to 127 energy really matter? No. You can use quid pro quo with some weird timing, you can use shared feeling even if it's a bit cope, you could use the thief set and break 1 enemy toughness for this energy, or you could just get hit once. Now those are RNG, so if you want to be 100% consistent however, you can't rely on these, right? So you should use an energy rope, right? No. Sprightly Von Wax's 5% energy regeneration rate is enough. And then you'd say something like, I'm losing the 24% attack from Spacing Station. And you'd be right. Except by removing the energy regeneration rope, you can now gain access to a 43.2% attack rope, which is 19.2% more attack than Spacing Station. And you'd be right. Except by removing the energy regeneration rope, you can now gain access to a 43.2% attack rope, which is 19.2% more attack than Spacing Station. Now if you use 2 skills, you don't need an energy rope either. If you have E1, you still don't need an energy rope. If you have E1 and you want to ruin your team and do a 1-turn ultimate gimmick, which could ruin your weakness setup and your skill points, you need an energy rope and Von Whack either way, so you're sacrificing both things. If you have E0 without her light cone and want to do 1 skill and 3 basics, you'll need an energy rope, but doing 3 basics is such a terrible rotation to use. You'd have no weakness, so let's now discuss her best relics. We'll start with the relic sets. Before I start, Quantum Set is awesome on her for more sub DPS damage. Death Ignore is additive with Death Shred, so you can ignore 63 to 73% of the enemy's defense on Silver Wolf with this set. If you want to run her at her full support potential, the Wind or Musketeer sets are preferred to allow more cycling. So we'll be comparing the turns she can get with Wind versus
something I consider like false information, which I know sounds absurd when I cover mostly media, but it can get pretty testy over in that side of YouTube. So like, you know, I feel like if I responded to something a day after it came out and then I had all the views on it and they were like, hey, what the supposed to give me a week, I'd be like, I don't care, your video was shit. Like it was actually spreading misinformation. Like I don't care to give you a week so that you can get views from it. Like
sure, but then you could just
annoyed.
like respond to the video without actually like showing the video, right?
Possible, but I assume that you're going to be uploading it with the concept that this is a video getting responded to, and people might end up choosing that instead and feel like, I don't need to see the original, you know?
Maybe. What is the time for this? I'm so sorry. Okay. There's no chance. Yeah.
So
I can understand there being some drawbacks, but I mean, like, there are ways where like you would just have to try to make it so that your content is like highly transformative at that point, you know?
Well, just to clarify,
sure,
because I assume when I was talking about extremes, right, I went one direction, now I want to go with the other, which is that someone just re-uploads your video. I can't remember what you were saying, whether or not you take issue with that.
If somebody were to just straight re-upload my video on a different channel, I think I would lean towards not liking it. I'm not sure how much I would care, but I'd probably lean towards not liking it. That'd be like a 55-45 thing.
Okay, and then I assume would these things change it if they re-upload it and it made a shit ton of money, had a shit ton of views, much more than yours?
I think that once you hit a certain like income level for streaming or YouTube, I think the only thing you start to care about is exposure. I don't think like if I miss out on like $2,000 from a video, but the cost of that is it gets in front of like 1 million viewers that wouldn't have ordinarily watched it, like I'd lose the money on that video every single time. Like
It's an interesting idea. I assume you mean that even if that channel was called like Blumpy and it's run by some guy in his basement who's just trying to get videos on that he doesn't want to have to work for, he uploads them, people would still be enjoying you and your coverage, and therefore your notoriety would be going up.
I don't think I would like that as much. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I just said something.
Okay, I got your stream. I can see what you're doing.
It's all good. We watch Force and we all struggle with him psychologically.
Up. Will be enjoying you and your coverage, get videos on that he doesn't want to have to work for. He uploads them. People would still be enjoying you and your coverage, and therefore your notoriety would be going up.
I don't think I would like that as much. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I just said something.
Okay, I got your stream. I can see what you're doing.
It's all good. We watch Force and we all struggle with him psychologically. Okay, sorry. Sorry. There was a legitimate argument. I remember Pokemon fought with a guy that did this a long time ago. And I guess we just don't talk about these channels anymore because people are really fixated on the streamers. But there used to be these channels where all they would do is like just re-upload either compilations or highlights from other people's content. And oftentimes they wouldn't link back to like anything. I think I could understand people being irritated about those channels, and I don't know, because like even my clips would show up sometimes, but like they don't link back to anything. People oftentimes don't even know what it is. Those people, sometimes the people that view that content have no engagement with other stuff. Like, for instance, let's say Lex Friedman or Joe Rogan uploads a video of mine with no commentary for an hour. I'm probably okay with that. But if there's a channel called like Funny Politics Videos or something, and they just like upload a whole bunch of random shit and they throw a video of mine on, I'm like, I don't think I'm getting any value out of this whatsoever, you know?
Right. So it is determinant then on what you get out of the situation.
Maybe, yeah. There exists, like, I think I think I could probably come down channels that exist that don't even have like a person. It's not even like a person. It's just a channel that exists to like rip content from like other streams or YouTube videos and they just throw them up in like compilations or whatever. I think those channels are probably harmful to everybody. Yeah.
So you know the sort of defining the ethics through its consequences versus the act in and of itself. I would still take issue with that guy. Let's say he was a friend of mine, the guy in the basement, and he says like, "Dude, I've been making like thousands off of blah blah blah," and I'd just be like, you know, this scenario, he's making zero. He's like, "I can't believe this isn't working. Uploading Destiny, Asmongold, all these different people, and and it's not getting any traction." I'd be like, "Dude, why don't you make something?" And then he'd be like, I can't, and they're way better. I would be like, I can't help but be critical of it in the same way that I feel like we're all kind of critical of like any content that does lack what we perceive to be like hard work or talent. Because I think you were almost implying like you want to figure out what it is that's annoying people when it's amazing that they complain about this, and yet you can fucking just stream a game, talk about anything. And you know, like vlogging, or lots of YouTube channels have been hyper successful off that. And it's like, do you take issue with them? They're relatively low effort.
Well,
it's
I think, yeah, the big issue with streaming, and this has always been the thing about streaming, is streaming as a content medium is some of the lowest prepared effort to highest financial gain of any content that's ever existed on the internet, right? Yeah, somebody can spend 6 months to produce a 3-hour video, and a streamer can spend 6 months doing 10 hours of content a day, and they'll get compensated way more for it. Although, to be fair, this is the way of all content, unfortunately, right? Like, people that take the time to produce higher quality content, like, oh my god, if you're an animator or something, like, that type of content is going to take so long, and it's harder to make money off of the effort put in versus like short form content, you know?
Well, it's interesting because I tried to listen to a lot of what you've been talking about today before we had a chat. You said, like, you know, there's a bit of a divide between streamers and YouTubers, that YouTubers might be mistaken in thinking like streaming is just the lazy people, when it's absolutely not the case necessarily, and vice versa, that YouTubers, just because they don't upload anything but once a year, that they're it's like they're not, what do they do, work for a week and then put it up and then do nothing for the rest of the year? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I would fight against, I love shitting on streamers, okay, because I hate streamers. I hate everybody who's
I know.
okay, because they're all horrible people, okay? So I do like to shit on streamers, but I don't want YouTubers to shit on streamers, okay? Because it's not like these guys are not like bastions of like hardworking, okay, like, yeah. Like,
so I feel uniquely, like, I'm almost at the point now I'm releasing one per year at about 6 hours long. The next one's coming out next month. But I also run a weekly stream where we react to videos. That's like a whole thing, or movies, or TV, or whatever else.
Sure.
And we've gotten, I think, 4 major episodes. I was hoping to get you on one of them to talk about reacting, and we went after our relevant denims, Hassan twice. They're just full of. I went to their streams and I looked through everything that they do, and then showed people what they do, and then we talked about it ethically. It's complicated. I don't deny that, but you know, that's why I wanted to start easy with the Hassan one that we went after. Was, I don't know if you know when this happened. It was a couple of years ago, but he was watching Jay's video, JXE, and he got up and walked away, and most of the video plays when Hassan's not even on screen.
What a god.
Now, like, I assume we're on the same team when we say, like, that's, can we call that he's ought not to do that?
Yeah, so I guess the question is why not? Like, what? Remember you at the beginning of this. Now, I'm not saying he should. Everybody's gonna interpret it as like, oh, he should be able to do it. But I'm curious, like, what is the reason why we don't like that? Is it because we perceive him as being lazy? Is it because there's some harm to the creator that's different there? Is it? Yeah, I'm curious. What is the first principles attack against that sort of reaction? Like, why do we not like that particular style of reaction?
Because I'm inclined to believe it's actually a big mix of both, and that's what's making this so complicated, is that people need to figure out exactly what they think and mean about all this stuff. I consider myself pretty critical of content that's hyper successful, that's based on basically zero effort. That would be one of the best examples ever, that he's making money off of nothing. And you might be like, well, what's wrong with that? Why can't someone do that? You know, in isolation of where he's gotten this content from, or anything to do with JXE. And it's just, it's like an intuition thing. You've got not a great argument going for you. You just have to think about like what is it that's frustrating about that versus everyone else having to work so hard, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm curious because I'll ask you a question on that. Because intuitively, I would agree with you. But then, like, so people will say, like, reacting is zero effort, you're going to make a ton of money off of it. Couldn't you argue the same for anybody that just streams video games, though?
Yes,
like, you're literally...
I think so.
Yeah, just streaming video games. Yeah, go ahead.
The Little Hope game, if you streamed that and said nothing...
no. I mean, even any video. Like, let's say you stream League of Legends. Isn't that also, like, zero effort? Like, you're just playing games. Like, most people do that for free, right?
The reason why I get gun for Little Hope is because I don't think there's a scenario where you can actually justify it. Meanwhile, with something like League of Legends, if you were a pro player and you're concentrating and you're doing things that are incredible that no one else can do, or at least few people can, I think there's a lot of value in that. It's arguable, a form of transformative content, but obviously this is the problem that the lore/understanding of everything hasn't caught up to the internet still. With all of this, I think that's another problem. Is everyone else, you're talking about how like streamers don't react to this the way that their fans will often do. I think a lot of streamers don't know that this is a problem. In Jay's video about this, he wanted to very fairly ask all of his YouTuber friends, do they have a problem with the idea that someone fully uploaded their video reacting to it with zero reactions, it was just their video? Half of them said, yeah, that's fucked up. The other half said, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'll represent that in the best faith. I don't think it was half. I think it was 10 and 5, wasn't it?
10 and 5?
I think 10 of them said they didn't want it, and 5 of them said they did.
It was the only thing I took away from it was the fact that we're seriously not at a point of agreement. Most people.
But I thought that was interesting, because that was him talking to his friends, and he's selecting for whatever. So like, even on the guy that was trying to make a point, it seemed like there were a lot of people that he asked was like, I don't really care that much as long as they credit me, Yeah,
I think what people will intuitively take from it is, well, surely it promotes me, even if I don't get paid for that. It can only help, surely. And if we then went into the stats, like I know Dark Viper does with trying to prove like definitively that either views are, I think it's almost like proving a negative. It's impossible to prove an alternate future sometimes. Like that video would have done better, trust me, bro. And it's like, I don't know that it would have, but I guess I can buy that it would have. Which is why I think that the more effective argument is that there's like to aim for the absolute lack of any kind of respectable input on their end, and yet they gain so insanely large amounts of it at the expense of sometimes provable elements, but they're still pretty tenuous, so it gets very complex. Like the concept of, I don't want them gone. I don't think I want to ban anybody for it. I want to heavily discourage and arguably shame it. So like
the React content.
Well, I do React content, right? So like it's I'm trying to think of an example of a time where you've covered plenty of videos that I would never have watched. You covering them does not mean that I was going to watch them if you didn't, because I'm actually there for your input. There are videos you've covered where I share the sentiment in some of the comments where it's just like, what was the point of that? I was just watching their video and I didn't even like their video. I want to hear what you have to say. Which is like an ironic problem because it's not stolen views at that point. It's just views that would have become existing as a result of expecting something else. You were talking earlier about the ContraPoints one. That's taken down now, is it?
Yeah, because every now and then I'll be doing nothing on stream. We just have a video while I like play a game.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of like watching. I don't have much to say about it, but for some reason my YouTube editor wanted to fuck me hard that week and decided to throw that one completely onto YouTube.
Well, but that seems really interesting to me. The fact that you seem to be reacting quite hard to the concept of it being there right now. Is that beyond optics, or is it just because you knew people might use it against you?
Well, one, it was because it's just not like, why would I upload somebody else's video to my channel? Like there's
that's
no point. And
so
then,
that's kind of where I'm at with all of it. It's like if I had a friend who was doing it, I'd be like, okay. And I've heard every argument, right? Hassan said in response to us, like, because he found out that EFAB code and I think he confused us with every frame a painting, which was hilarious because everyone in his chat got really upset about it.
Yeah.
But he looked at the argument of like, when he goes to make food and eat it, he shouldn't be playing a video. And he interpreted that as he's not allowed to leave then. And he's like, what do you want me to do, die? And it was like,
or
Jesus
just not
Christ.
watch a thing, yeah.
Well, there's so many options. Why don't you just play stuff from your older streams temporarily, funny moments or whatever?
Sure.
You've done the obvious, which is a BRB screen, but like you can play stuff from your own shit. You don't have to play someone else's video. And then of course, because like someone else I find really interesting about this, because I'm with you on this is so messed up and complicated. You know, like the permission argument, basically. Like, if someone gave permission, then why the fuck are you mad? They've already said they're okay with it.